Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And welcome to the studio. Are you all ready? Yes? Coffee by your side? Good. Okay then, let's get it on. Right. Well, who can remember what we learned yesterday and the day before yesterday? What a silly question. Who can't remember what we learned yesterday and the day before yesterday? That's correct, a doodle-doo. So far, this week, we've been looking at the idea of going to. Another way we can talk about the future in English. And in the last couple of days, we've been checking all the basics we know about English tenses and learning about the form of going to. Yesterday, we finished the lesson with a promise. A promise to start today's lesson by checking the ideas you all have about making the question form with going to. And so, well, here we are. It's tomorrow. Well, it's today, but you know what I mean. So, let's get back to thinking about going to, and let's see whether your ideas about forming questions are right. Now, we all remember that when we make a question using the present simple, we have to use do. Just like when we make negatives with the present simple. Now, this is perfectly normal. In English, we sometimes need to use another verb to help. These verbs are called auxiliary verbs, and we use them to help form tenses. Auxiliary means extra or additional. So these verbs are just extra helping verbs we use. When we'd like to make a question or a negative using the present simple, we need the auxiliary verb to do. When we change the positive sentence, I like pizza, into a negative sentence, we use the auxiliary verb do to help. I like pizza becomes I do not like pizza. When we want to ask a question in the present simple, we also need to use the auxiliary verb do. Do you like pizza? We can see the same thing happen when we use the past simple tense. When we want to make a negative sentence in the past simple, what do we need to use? That's right. We need the past simple version of do. We need did. The past simple sentence, I played tennis when I was 3 years old, becomes I did not play tennis when I was 3 years old, when we make the sentence negative. We can see the same thing happen when we make questions in the past simple. Once again, we need to use the past simple form of the verb to do as an auxiliary verb. Did you enjoy the film last night? Okay, so we understand that to create certain tenses and whatnot, we need the help of auxiliary verbs. Okay, good. Now back to going to. When we want to ask a question with going to, we also need an auxiliary verb. Now, we already know which auxiliary verb we need, don't we? That's right. Think about how we made a sentence with going to. We used an auxiliary verb, didn't we? Correct, a doodle-doo. We used the verb to be in the correct form to make positive sentences with going to, didn't we? Do you all remember? I'm going to have lunch with Chief Mangosuthu Buthelezi tomorrow at noon. So, when we use going to, we have to use the verb to be as an auxiliary verb. I am or I'm going to. You are or you're going to. He, she, it is, or he's, she's, it's going to. We are or we're going to. You are or you're going to. And they are or they're going to. Fantastic! And we also saw yesterday that we use the same auxiliary verb, the verb to be, properly conjugated, to make negative sentences with going to. Do you remember the table? No? Well, let's have another look at it then. Mabel, Mabel, please have a heart. All of the students have forgotten the chart. Okay, so there's the table again. Thanks, Mabel. So, when we look at this table again, what is it that we can see? That's right. We use the verb to be to make negative sentences with going to. Brilliant. Okay, so no time for funny feet, cornettos, or even a feast. Instead of those, it's time to get our teeth stuck into the question form of going to. It's much better for your teeth anyway. Okay, so to make a question using going to, we have to use the verb to be. The verb to be is the auxiliary verb that we use with going to. We use that auxiliary verb when we make positive sentences with going to. I'm going to go on holiday to Hawaii. We use the same auxiliary verb when we make negative sentences with going to. They're not going to eat pizza in January. And now that we'd like to make a question with going to, which auxiliary verb do you think we have to use? Correcto mundo, gringo. We have to use the auxiliary verb to be, just like we did with positive and negative sentences. Okay, so let's ask a question with going to. We have to start with the correct version of the verb to be, am, are, or is. Then we follow with the subject, I, you, he, Alfredo. Then we add going to. And finally, we end with a verb in the infinitive without to, and that's right, don't forget the question mark. Okay, shall we ask Mabel to put that information into a table for us? Okay, Mabel, Mabel, mistress dressed in sable, help us out here, please, with a table. Fantastic! So, now, we all remember that we use the verb to be as the auxiliary verb to help us make sentences with going to. It's not important if the sentence is positive, negative, or a question. We have to conjugate the verb to be to match the subject correctly when we're making sentences with going to. Okay then. Well, it must be time for us to practice making sentences with going to, right? Right. Now, look at the following sentences and decide on the correct way to complete the sentences using going to. The verbs to use are in brackets at the end of each sentence. Remember, they're a mix of positive, negative, and questions. Okay, so how did you get on? Did you think they were too easy, or too hard, or just right? Well, let's see how you all did. That's the only way to find out if they were too easy or too hard. Okay, number one. The verb we're meant to use is in brackets at the end of the sentence. And the verb we're meant to use is the verb to watch. Now, first things first. What do we know about forming sentences with going to? That's right. When we make a sentence with going to, we use the infinitive without to. So whatever we do with the sentence, we have to remember that we don't ever say going to. No, that would be silly. We use going to and then add the infinitive of a verb without to. Okay, so what have you got for the first one? Correct, a doodly doodly doo. There's a good film on TV tonight. And then the question, are you going to watch it? We know that this one was a question because, well, for one thing, we can see the question mark at the end of the sentence. Okay, next one, number 2. What is your answer for number 2? Well done, the butler did it. Fantastic. My feet are filthy. Well, what does filthy mean? Filthy means very dirty. So logically, if my feet are very dirty, if my feet are filthy, what am I going to do? That's right, I'm going to clean them. Brilliant! All right, and the next one, number 3. What's your answer for number 3? Well, we know that it's Jenny's birthday next week, and we can see that the verb we're meant to use is the verb to buy. And we're talking about a present. So, that's right. It's Jenny's birthday next week. We're going to buy her a present. Well done. Lucky Jenny. Okay, and on we go to the next one. Okay? Number 4. What have you decided? Well, it's a question. We can see that. There's a question mark at the end. And the question is, what? That's right. The correct question about Jenny and the possibility of a party is she going to have a party? Great. Well done. And, oh, hello Enid. Come on down. Hello people. Hello, it's me, Enid. I'm just popping my head around the door to let you all know that I'm feeling much better. I got all of your get well soon emails and I went for a massage as some of you suggested. And it worked. My muscles aren't as sore as they were. The DOMS or whatever it is going. And so am I. I really enjoyed that massage and this morning I booked another one. So Rupert's looking after Keith at the moment and I'm going to the massage salon for my massage. Thank you all for your good wishes. I'm almost back to my usual self. See you anon. Toodaloo. Pip pip. Chitty bye. Oh, well, that was quick. Enid's off for her massage. Poor Rupert. He's going to have a bad time with Keith. Keith doesn't like Rupert, unfortunately. Oh well, his problem, not ours. Our problem is that we're out of time. Drat. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. And until then, don't forget to check out all the videos and more at www.m5tv.hu. Okay, I'll see you later. Have fun. Bye. Oh, and I'm still taller than you-know-who. And I'm still younger than the other you-know-who. See you later. Bye.